There
Oh,
we are.
okay.
Secret agents of life that we are.
Yay,
Here I
recording in
am
progress.
with a lovely Dorit, and I want to remind you guys, all our viewers, that they've been supporting. Thank you so very much. And just let us know where you coming from. Where are you located? It's so important to us to make a community all over the world. Dorit and I and Uncle Bruce and all of the light workers, we want to be able to reach out to you. So we are all at peace and equanimity. So subscribe and push that little bell. It's a little bell that I didn't know for years that I needed to push if I wanted somebody to send me. You know, let me know when things are coming. So now I learn. That's the life, right, Dorit?
Absolutely.
My sweet Dorit, can you tell us about you, about your life, whatever you want to share about you?
Ah. Ah. Well, I can go the physical Dorit,
Sure.
and then I can go the cuckoo Dorit who lives in her old la la land, and So I'll share, I'm a Canadian and I grew up in Toronto, but I was born in Israel and I'm living in Israel. And I'll tell you, I remember nothing about living in Israel, even though I left when my parents took me to Canada when I was 4. But there's only one thing I remember. And I remember during the holiday of Hanukkah, which is a holiday of lights, and I'm a 4-year-old little munchkin holding a rod of light in my hand and singing an Israeli song of light. And I remember 4 years old singing in Hebrew songs, which translates, "We are here to chase away the light." And that's the only thing I remember. So, on some level, I believe that that was my service without even knowing it. And then, I grew up in Toronto, in Canada, and a nice Jewish family. We spoke Hebrew at home, and English is still my favorite because I grew up there. And I swore I would never live in Israel. So it just tells you never say never.
Yeah, I know.
And then I ended up back in Israel in 1977. I was 23 years old. And then later I got married and had 3 children. And that was like my physical. I worked in big pharma for 25 years, which is a whole story unto itself because it was their clinical trials department, but another time. And basically, I've been involved in meditation and guided imagery, and I studied naturopathy while working for Big Pharma. So I went, yeah, 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 yeah,
Right.
because I refused their products. I thought they were complete, never mind.
Yeah.
But they paid a really good salary, and I was a single mom.
Yeah.
And so I managed to study 4 years of naturopathy while working for the other side.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that sort of gave me a knowledge of a complete knowledge of everything. And yeah, today I have 3 children, adults. My daughter's 42, a son who's 41, another son who's 39, and 3 grandchildren.
Oh, so sweet, right? Life.
Yeah,
Life. I think,
yeah.
Dorit, being that for what I know with you, you most like it needed that contrast, like I had many times, of working for pharma because we need to know both sides of the coin, as may say, and being that this world is a polarity world, it's night and day, happy and sad, pain, no pain. It's so many variants. Even in our body, we have the negative pole, positive pole. Um, if we don't learn the contrast, how we can be in the part that we want to be and not make a crossover in any way, right?
That is so true, and especially living in Israel, because here they always want you to take sides, and I will refuse to take sides. I always say that when you take one side or another side, all you're doing is perpetuating the divide, which got us into this mess in the first place. You
Yeah,
know, the polarity, the two sides. You're either for this or against this, and it doesn't even matter what you're for, it really it makes no difference. I don't look at any side as good or bad or right or wrong. I just try to keep myself in balance.
right.
And in this country, it's very difficult because, people are always trying to okay, if you're not taking a side, it means you're for them. I said, no, it doesn't mean that. It means I'm in my own authenticity,
Mm.
in my own power, in my own contact directly with source. And I don't need to take sides because I believe that this is what got the whole planet in the mess we're in to begin with.
Yeah.
So I lost a lot of friends. I lost a lot of friends. My family all want to kill me. They're all doctors and they all think I'm off the wall.
Yeah.
And a lot of them disowned me after the whole COVIDiocy era
Mm.
because I refused to be part of that.
Mhm.
I refused point blank. And that just 6 years ago, it's already 6 years. Because I remember on my birthday, March 11, 2020, they announced pandemic. And I said, no way. So since then, I've been sort of on my own journey.
Yeah.
And it's been an uphill ride all the way, and it hasn't been easy. Today, it's much easier, and today I couldn't give a shit about anyone. Pardon my French.
No, it's fine. I say it all the time.
Am I allowed to say the word? Am I allowed to
Oh
say?
God, yeah, yeah. You can be as true and honest as you want. Yes,
Because I
absolutely.
swear, I admit it, I
Yeah,
swear,
yeah,
and not a lot, but I sometimes swear.
yeah.
I
I
do.
do too, and I don't mean much to me because not my native language. So
But, today I've reached the age where I don't care anymore.
yeah,
I am who I am, and you either accept me the way I am or not. And unfortunately, it makes for a very lonely existence because everybody's pulled away,
yeah.
except for my mother. God bless her. She's 94. She lives in Montreal, and she's a Holocaust survivor.
Mm.
And she is awesome.
Yeah, and to be honest, I learned something, Dorit, that I remember often. And it's this. I remember somebody got really, really betrayed at work. In the film industry, that's pretty common. And we were working, and this person was like really, really upset with the husband cheating. It was the best girlfriend, all this. It was a big story going on there. And a really clever hairdresser guy, really lovely, he said to her, "Oh, darling, what is not good for you, God takes away." I never forget that. Never forget that.
Whoa.
Never forgot that. I was working with a girl before in the podcast, and she's lovely. I love her very much. And she is going through a lot of, stressful moments right now with family and this and that and the other. And something triggered her that she went boom to me on the screen and started screaming, and it was a completely different person that everybody sees. And it was a huge reaction. She was red in the face. She was calling me names. She was accusing me of all kinds of stuff. I was stunned because not because I don't expect things from human beings, Dorit, but from her, because all I wanted is to assist, be sisters, and be, you know, what you're doing, what Uncle Bruce Lipton is doing, what I have been doing since little to make a difference, to guide people, and that was all that it was. Whatever happened there, it was painful. And then she accused me that I was doing little videos against her, which I wasn't. It happened to be that it was clients, they came in, and I share with people, if you are in anxiety or if you, whatever, do this, do that. And she took it that it was about her. And we gotta understand something. You are incredibly brave to stand on your own and stand as a woman in a situation that is horrifying for most people. And I have been in war, so I know that one. I have been when Pinochet went down in Chile, and the CIA from this country really killed the last, yeah. And my father was a diplomat. So he was, an ambassador, and we were marked to be destroyed. All of that. My father, my biological father, comes from the Holocaust situation that they ran to Spain. So in my
Oh.
in my DNA, you know, energetically is some imprints in there, as you know, because Uncle Bruce always teaches that we have our own epigenetic that we can do. We can rewire the brain, we can reconnect and make different groups, and that's what you're doing. You're a pioneer of your race, like I am, because I'm half Israeli too, among other things. My grandmother was Egyptian Moor. My
Oh.
right, my grandfather from the other side was, Basque, some like a buffet, and we stand on ourselves. And for me, the world and the planet is the universe. Is the divine that guides me every day. Is what I, you know, get the downloads all day long, okay? And I think from my heart. People said, oh, I am brown, because they're not black, really, they're brown. I'm brown, or I'm this, I'm that. I'm like, you know what? My heart only sees one color, and that's the color of love. I'm human, yeah, I make my mistakes, I'm here to grow. That's the only thing I can take. But in the meantime, I like growth and contribution. So that you are off the wall, good, because you're not stuck and nailed to it. People get so afraid to make a different move in case there is no certainty for them, right? Now, Israeli people and all this word conjuncture people, they still very much in the primitive tribal way of thinking. I don't like it, I kill it.
I have
I
no
don't like
connection to
it.
any of
Right,
them.
right. But that's all it
It doesn't
is.
even speak to me. It
Right,
doesn't speak to me. None of it. None of it
right,
speaks to me.
right.
No country speaks to me.
Yeah,
It's like the only place I belong is to myself, in my heart, in the energy of love.
yeah,
Nothing speaks to me.
Yeah,
I don't say I'm this or that or the other. We're souls.
yeah,
We are souls contracted to be down here at this particular amazing transformational time
yes,
in order to spread the love, spread the light, and just be there
right,
as the world takes on its brand new trajectory into the age of Aquarius, because none of the old crap will fit into the age of Aquarius. That was the Piscean age. Piscean age is falling away, and nothing of that will be able to hold. It won't be able it won't be able to stay. There's no glue that can keep it going.
right.
So it will slowly fall away. It'll take time.
Yes,
But we are here to show people that love is really the only platform that we can work from. And whatever we do from a point of love.
yeah.
And it doesn't even matter what we do, as long as it comes from love. And also, I'm very passionate about our bodies. I think we were granted these amazing, amazing bodies, amazing physical structures that can heal ourselves, even though we don't exactly know how yet completely. Um, but we can and we do, and I've experimented with my three children. I'm happy to say I used to get yelled at, but I have experimented with them when they were younger. When doctors said, "Oh, he needs this surgery, she needs that surgery," said, "No, thank you very much." And then I did a lot of it with guided imagery. And it's amazing how well it works on children.
I know, because their imagination is so constructive, right? They're seeing things. It's so new. I love work. I work with children with suicide.
Oh,
Yeah, I work with children. They are in foster care, and or they're in the hands of government, so they're in in a place. And last night I made that decision. I was watching. My husband is a chef, and he owns a catering company for film and TV. And we were watching Jamie, this chef from England. I love him.
Jamie Oliver?
Oh my gosh, and so much passion. And
He's
so he's
amazing,
a baby.
amazing.
He's still a child and he's lovely. And the fact that he was basically failed school 100%. Failed school 100%. That he couldn't read, he couldn't really write.
Yeah.
Scramble eggs. Now, people will say you will never amount to anything. They told me that. Uh, Sir Richard Branson, I did a couple of jobs with, more than a couple of jobs. We co-wrote a book together. Anyway,
Ah,
yeah, he said it. I failed so many times. People don't realize, that failure, so-called failure, is just redirecting. You redirect, you reinvent. You can't, like, Einstein said, you cannot fix something with the same mind that made it. So,
yeah,
long story short, that I was telling, when I watched that, I didn't realize that he did incredible amount of work with schools and children and graduate kids to give them a sense of worth, to teach them to have another skill. And he went all the way to the prime minister in England to show him, look, these kids are being fed garbage. What can we do? And the man, upped up the budget to, I think it was 200 more millions. I don't know because I'm not linear, I forget numbers. But huge what he did, huge how he changed the environment of food for kids. They being made, the little brains, the little bones, everything is being made with a ton of sugar, with very, very, very bad food. So I made up my mind last night and I told Steve I'm gonna sit down and create a program that we can start teaching cooking to kids here. It's simple stuff that they can start with. The difference in breads, the difference in, and now it's spring, so we have fresh product, or dehydrating, donating dehydrators that they can dehydrate. The child can have snacks of apple chips or all different fruits and have that instead. I didn't grow up with snacks. Either you had the meal or you didn't eat, period. And I,
Today you can do that. When I was growing up, I mean, when my kids were little, I used to send them to kindergarten with healthy snacks. And nobody knew what the hell a healthy snack is. They had no idea. They knew bread with chocolate, and they knew sugar, and they knew candies. And my children didn't know any of that.
right.
They had no idea because they never saw it at home.
Yes.
And they learned, of course, very quickly, but at least today they have the knowledge that I raised them in a healthy way. I also owned a health food shop for a while.
Oh,
And yeah, but it didn't go very well because it was like before its time, and people just didn't know what to do with it. They didn't understand. So
you know,
now is the time to be here with what we know and to pay it forward
yeah,
because this is the time where it will be embraced by many people.
yeah.
Many people may look at it questioningly, but many people embrace it. And I love it, and it makes me so happy because I can tell people that I never fed my kids sugar ever. We never had white sugar in the house ever. Not white sugar, not white flour, not white rice. And I never gave them jabs of any kind, the jabs when they're giving them when they're born. I never allowed any of it. I never allowed anything chemical into their bodies. And you know what? They were the healthiest kids in preschool. I can't hear you.
And more focused and more center. I mean, food makes the body. Food makes us. Clean food, clean thoughts. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
but they get sucked in. They get
I
sucked
know.
in by the many.
The
So,
peer.
they're only little and they
Peer
get sucked
pressure. Yeah. Because my daughter one day said to me, "Oh, you think I ate all that healthy stuff you gave me for
in. Yeah,
school and all that? I will said I will trade it with somebody else, but I would
yeah,
like to
my kid
go.
said the same.
I will go to Taco Bell with them or something." And I was like, "Whoa."
Yeah, my kids said the same. My kids said I used to trade sandwiches with it. I used to trade stuff with people. They wanted to try what I did. I
Yep.
said, that's fine. That's fine. I'm glad you had a taste of that. I'm glad you had, I don't mind. Really, I don't mind.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Everything is okay. But as long as you understand, and today as adults, they understand. And my son with my grandchildren, he raises them like I raised him,
Yeah.
which really makes my heart sing. And then so I end up talking to people. I end up talking to people about, what they're eating and why they're eating it. And there is more awareness, but they can't be bothered to follow the awareness.
Yeah. Yeah, doing the work I do with trance, and that's why I got into so deep, to be able to assist people to access these different kinds of files and to swap the files that we had so many constructs, right? And behaviors that we picked up, the behaviorisms and embedded commands that, from school to media to parents to, we can be driving and see something, and the subconscious mind, ooh, grabs it and puts it in a file. Oh, that may serve, and all these parts of our system, because subconscious mind drives us 88%. 88% is driven by that. And so, even though we feel so in control, no, it's a lot of files that they come forward to keep us safe, or.
Well, a lot of it is energy, once you're aware that everything is energy, everything. It was interesting. I used to go to Canada a lot. And during the whole COVIDiocy era, I also went to Canada to visit my mother, and my son was living there at the time. And I never wore a mask, and I never did this, and I was always a rebel,
Yeah.
always from very young, from the Woodstock era. I was always a rebel. So I what I noticed was that when I used to walk around, I never wore a mask. And when I go into a mall without a mask and I was connected to my higher self and I felt energetically aligned and balanced with source, nobody saw me and nobody cared. And then there were times when I was a little bit nervous. I said, oh my God, they're going to see me. They're going to yell at me. And that's what happened. And they did. And I got chased out and everything, where's your mask? And, and I ran out of the mall, and they were chasing me. So what I understood was when you're connected to your higher self and to source, and you go in feeling with total self alignment, nothing can touch you except the source. But it's very hard to walk around like that all the time.
Oh, it is. It is. It's almost like a tennis playing match. And I
Yeah.
remember what Gandhi says, they may be able to take my body, they may be able to take all this, whatever it was, but they can't take the true me.
No, they can't. No, they can't. And we are, we're not a human. We're not human. We are souls. We are souls, and this is on loan. This is on loan.
Yes,
It's on loan to experience everything here. And I don't even know how much of it is real anymore. I find myself yesterday or the day before, I was driving along to go out for coffee with a friend. And it's a route I take all the time, about 20 minutes. And I suddenly found myself on a road that I had never seen before. And I didn't ask any questions. I said, oh, okay. So I'm supposed to be there. So I wonder where that leads. And I just continued going. And then eventually I found myself on the old known road. But, I hop from timeline to timeline, from parallel world to parallel world. And today I see that everything is all such an illusion anyway.
I know.
So we
Maya.
really
Mm.
need to, the only thing that isn't an illusion is the love. The love is not an illusion. And this is what we all need to understand. And this is what I try to tell people all the time, especially in this country where there's so much hate. There's hate. There's hate. People are born hating.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is, and
Mm,
it's very sad. So I talk to them and I say, when you love, you cannot hate.
mm,
It doesn't go together.
right. They're
And
opposites. Yeah.
and it also it eradicates the darkness.
Mm,
The dark melts away with all that love.
yeah.
And this is what this is my job here to really be a super spreader of love and to just spread the fact that we have super bodies.
Yeah.
We are super powered people. And we really need to utilize that and take advantage of that because that is who we are.
And what would you say to the viewers? Because God, how powerful it is that we are connected, you and I, and two different atmospheres of the planet, and having included Uncle Bruce Lipton, which I adore.
Yeah.
And what would you say to them that fear is, and what? Because it when people are in that fearful place, they don't listen very much. They are just ridden by, the emotion and the overload in the sympathetic nervous system and the anxiety and the non-sleep and all that. It's so many factors to it. But
Well,
what would you say?
what they're doing is they're taking, first of all, they're watching media, they're watching television,
Yeah,
they're reading newspapers, and that should be turned off. I haven't watched television or read a newspaper in 35 years.
yeah,
So, and people don't realize it's part of the programming. Like if you close your eyes, I see it's like shrapnel
mm,
floating around the aura. And it goes into people's aura, and they don't even realize that they've taken on the fear that is being delivered by these companies, the media. The media loves to deliver fear
yeah,
because that's part of the control program. And and people really need to understand that it's just an energy that they're taking upon themselves. It's not who they really are. And the mind gets carried away instead of being here and now on a platform of love. And then the mind just gets carried away with all this information that they've taken in. So they don't have time to concentrate on the love. And if they did, they would be so surprised at how calm they can be. And that's where the heart math comes in, where your breath,
yeah, yeah.
you
I
breathe
love.
in for 4 and you breathe out for 8. And you breathe in for 4 and you breathe out for 8. And you do this quite a bit until your heart and mind become aligned. And then your heart really is a powerful weapon. It's our superpower if we just allow it. And I know I have to do it all the time because, I hear it everywhere I go. I go and have coffee with a friend, and I hear everybody talk. People are stuck in the country here. You can't fly in or out because the airport's closed because there's always sirens and bombs. So you can't fly in or out.
Mm,
So everybody's complaining. They want to go here, they want to go there, but they can't because so I just, I try to explain to them, first of all, this is the situation. If you can't change a situation, you can change your thoughts about them, about the situation. You can change what you feel about the situation, knowing that love is all there is. And once you do that, surprise, surprise, because amazing things happen, really amazing. People need to understand that when they're linking into their fear because they're listening to the media, turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
Turn it off. It's not going to change anything. There's nothing you can do about it.
Mm-hmm.
All you can do is listen to it and become fearful. And it does no good. So turn it off.
Yeah.
And if you can't turn it off completely, I would just throw these machines in the garbage. But if you can't do that, just have like half a day of not opening it, not listening to it, not knowing, because nothing changes anyway. It's all the same crap. So it's very important not to get sucked into the energy of the media because this is what they do. They feed everybody fear.
Yeah.
And we don't want to eat their fear. We want to live on love. And that most people, that's all they want. They want to
Yeah.
live quietly with their families, with love, and just carry upon their daily life. And they can do it if they don't allow the media to gain access to their aura and to their heart.
Yeah. And it's interesting because people say, "Oh, I believe in God. Oh, I believe in higher power."
Yeah.
But when you are in fear, you don't. Because I remember somebody sharing this with me. I think it was a Rumi thing. And he said, fear knocked at the door and faith opening, and it was nobody there. But
Wow.
if you believe in a higher source, if you believe in the connection of you being created by a bigger entity of whatever kind, name, size, color, whatever it is, fear doesn't belong in there. So are
No.
you believing or you following blindly like a herd of cows, which they ended up in the barbecue, by the way, or lambs or whatever? What is the real that? And I think, Dorit, well, I don't know there, but here in the States, it's like people divides a second in 20 portions. They're like multitasking, multi-thinking, multi-this, multi-that, eating breakfast in the car, so no grounded. So when we disconnect from source, when we all over the place, we just come fragmented. And that is where the little things get in. And right in those spaces of the fragmentation. So slow it down. So many, I know people that I really love, that they get up in the morning, the television all day long. And I'm
Wow.
saying to you, all day
Wow.
long. Especially, it's a woman that I know that I really care for her, mother of basically a brother of mine, but not from her. But she does that all day long. And she used to call me to share tragedies. And I say, you know what? I don't do those. So if we are to connect, let's keep it in fun. Let's keep it in you and I talking about something constructive, laughing, sharing a good book, or even a good dish that we have done. But I refuse to be part of something I don't believe at all. And my dad was a diplomat in Chile, where I was born, but I was raised in Peru and the Amazon until
Oh, you're from Chile. You were born in Chile.
yeah,
Okay.
until 13 years old. I grew up in the Amazons and Peru with a Quero Indian and the shapeshifters. Talk about you going in a place and becoming, because they taught me how to shrink the energy so you become invisible, shape shifting. And I was trained because my father wanted this. I was trained to be a simultaneous translator in United Nations in Russian, because in those days Russia was the big boo. You know what I mean? Whatever. So, and I don't like saying whatever, but I did. Um, I learned, I was trained by this lovely, lovely teacher, tutor of mine. He was French but half Russian. And it was unbelievable to learn how Russian is structured, that they do, they have two different kinds of writing, all kinds of stuff. Beautiful. And as I start doing the translations in the United Nations, I realized these people are lying. These people are lying and misleading.
Absolutely.
Whoa. And
Yes. Yes.
I told my father, I said, I love you. I love the experience. Unfortunately, I will create a word because I will say the truth, because I'm like you. I just got no filter. And I will end up saying, oh, this is not, which I did a few times in the United Nations. I said, well, that doesn't really match what, So he said, well, if we will tell the actual truth, it will create chaos, because the average person cannot really understand what is really going
Can't
on.
contain it. They can't contain it because they're in dissonance. They can't contain it. It doesn't mean anything to them because it's not a possibility. But there are many people sitting on the fence understanding that, wait a minute, something strange is going on in this planet. And they're the ones that we can talk to.
Yeah,
And the ones who are totally in that world of the third 3D matrix, it's very difficult. And I've stopped even trying
yeah. Me
because it's
too.
like hitting your head against the
Me
wall.
too. Yeah,
But there are people sitting on the fence asking questions. And those are the people that we can talk to. They might look at us as though we're a little bit weird, but it does go in. No, but it does go
yeah,
in. It
yeah,
does go in. The
yeah,
seed gets planted, it grows,
yeah,
and then eventually something happens and they understand.
yeah,
Those are the ones that we can really help.
yeah.
And that's why we're here. I really believe that we are here to do that work.
I fully believe that too. I was born to serve. And that's what I've
So
done my
was I.
entire life. One way or the other, I serve nature, I serve, I'm going to start a project with Jane Goodall's people. And Jane was a dear friend for 5 decades. And I was there, the day that she didn't wake up, bless her. And I promised her that we will continue to do reforestation, which I'm fully invested, and with children, which I'm doing, and now starting food with them. And that is really going to go into for them, oh, this grows here, that grows there, the love for Mother Earth, because most people don't know where did food come from.
Exactly, exactly. And today, every day, I'll stand. I have a little bit of earth outside my house. Every day I go and I stand there. It's looks funny because it's not a lot. I live in a small
Okay.
unit by
Yeah,
myself, but I go and I stand on that piece of earth where I planted just a few herbs and stuff. And I put my feet, careful not to step on the rosemary or the
Yeah.
wheatgrass or whatever. And I stand there and the trees and the birds and I connect and it makes life. I mean, I must look really stupid because it's just this little tiny piece of land. I don't really care. Nobody sees me anyway. But it's just it does. It fills you with, first of all, with negative ions,
Yeah.
which we do need.
Yeah.
And it just fills you because you're talking to the elementals. You're talking to the plants, you're talking to the birds, you're talking to the trees, and they take in all that love. They take it in and they talk with their rooting system and it's all connected
I,
and it's all connected to us and it's just it blows my mind
yes. I grew
with
up with that.
love.
I grew up with that. I grew up loving stones, uh, little everything. Those were my toys. My playground was up in the Peruvian Andes with the rivers, with the lake, with
Wow.
whatever. In the Amazons, all the little beings, all the
Wow.
sounds of the Amazons, knowing that really being connected and aware. Because people always said to me, "How do you see that?" We were driving and it was in the middle of a tree. I see a hawk. I say, if I didn't see things like that when I was growing up, I would have been
Amazing.
eaten or killed by something or whatever. Because I was living in their land, in their part we were sharing, sleeping in hammocks rolled up in the trees. So we didn't get, attacked or eaten by something, because the anaconda, she's very slow and she preys on something that it doesn't move much, like something sleeping, and all the constrictors, they do that. But we all respect each other. So she had her way of feeding herself. I didn't want to become food for her. So I did what it took, knowing each other, respecting each other on the fact that they need that and I function like that. So I shouldn't be, crossing lines, and I feel very empowered to share this with the children and teach them that tomato just comes from a plant, not from a jar or a can. And look how little she is, and she's gonna grow and give you all her little product, so your body
Yeah.
can smile and be healthy and strong, and you can be the superhero that you like playing with, yourself. But being out of source, I think, creates chaos.
Yeah. You had the awareness much before me. I mean, I was raised in this family of this Jewish family in Toronto, went to the Jewish day school and was fed religion and everything and I was a good girl, so I tried to do everything they told me. Even though I didn't like it, I didn't believe it, and it didn't speak to me, but I didn't know that I could be myself.
Yeah,
So you at least knew you had some of that training. I didn't have much of that training, but I was a rebel.
yeah,
I was a rebel, and at
always
some
been.
point, I just,
Yeah.
when I was
Yeah.
like a
I
teenager.
always been I can't say a rebel. I just was very clear what didn't speak to me or what didn't belong with me. I when always being with feeling, what it doesn't feel good or right or whatever the
Yeah,
story,
so I never
I
did
just
that.
don't do it no matter what the consequence. Look, I got beat up, Dorit, until I passed out. Out of the jungle and the mountains, my mother went to get me at 13 and put me in a boarding German nun school with uniform, yeah,
Wow.
with uniform, with shoes that I never wore shoes, with socks to the knees, with skirts all the way below the knee because we weren't supposed to see any part of the skin because that was a sin. Taking bath together with all the other girls, dressed. They thought I was completely bonkers and I used to get picked on big time because the kids said, "Oh, she's talking to that evil dog that they had chained." He was my best friend. To say she talks to the plants and she hugs trees and all that. I was a total freak to them. And what people are afraid of or don't understand, the tendency is to destroy it.
Yeah. I
Okay?
would tell people that they really need to listen to what's in their heart. Because if somebody on the television or the radio or the newspaper is telling you something and it doesn't feel 100% in your heart, listen to your own self
Right.
because we are amazing. Every single human on this planet is amazing. Everyone,
Yeah.
everyone, everyone. And the minute something doesn't feel right in your heart, you just have to listen to it.
Mm.
And I know that I was in a cult for 29 years, but that's another story. It was a full-blown cult. It's another story. If we'll talk again, I'll tell you about it. But it taught me how people can be directed to believe and do something without actually listening to their hearts because they don't believe they are good enough. They don't believe they can have the love without it.
Right.
And I was always looking for love and I never understood people, everybody watching this, every single person, you are love. It's in there, in you. And if something you're doing or listening to doesn't come in on that love vibration, it's not for you. And the minute we understand that, the minute everyone understands that, your life will change.
Yes.
100%. Everything will change. But it's a process.
Yeah, and it's we can do our own work because we have surrendered so much to the systems. And I have lived in many systems. When people ask me where you from, I usually say the world, the planet. So I've been in so many places that gave me home.
I'm from the Pleiades, so go.
I love Pleiadians. Love the Pleiadians. Oh,
Yeah,
love them. And
I know.
and here in New Mexico, they have a part of New Mexico that they love coming in there. Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
let's not disconnect from source, right? Let's really live and walk what we talk. If we
absolutely.
if we say we
Walk our
want peace,
talk, authenticity.
yeah,
If it feels like love, ride the
right,
wave of love.
right,
Something doesn't come from love, you can look at it.
right,
You can look at it from a distance, but you don't have to wear it.
right,
It's like you're looking at a dress in a shop and you say, "Oh, what a nice dress." And I look at it. Maybe I'll even try it on, but I won't buy it and I won't wear it if it doesn't feel like love.
right. And that's the
So
deal, right? Where are we with all the story? Like Gandhi said, be the peace or the love or the compassion that you want to see in the world. So
totally.
we cannot be reading all these books. So it's pretty interesting. I remember doing many events with Deepak because I'm still a teacher for the Chopra Center where, and year after year, and even in one year, you can see groups coming in or people coming in, paying huge amounts and going through the motion. But at the end of the day, it was more of an entertainment than a way of life or living it or walking it or saying it or any other thing. It's the same what I saw. My father was Catholic, my adopted father, which lovely man. My adoptive, the one that was the diplomat. And he was, the Catholic, no fanatic, no condemning, no, he did his own thing. And my mother was Buddhist, Tibetan Buddhist. I never
Oh
felt,
boy, wow, what
yes,
a combination.
I never felt an argument about it. I never felt you need to be this, you need to do
Perfect.
that. None of it. Neither one of
Perfect.
that. But I remember seeing people that did not so good stuff or, hypocritical, whatever it was. And they will go to church. And they thought that by just walking in those doors, all of it was lifted. They didn't matter if they cheated on the wife or the husband or whatever it was, or did harm to something or whatever it was, that by going in the church, boop, it was all lifted. The magic, right?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think it's the same syndrome with, because I've done it for 5 generations and so before that too, the so-called spirituality, because I know spiritual teachers or spiritual people that they're not walking the talk.
I don't even like the word spiritual anymore.
No,
I don't want to use it. I don't think it's relevant. I don't think it's necessary. I think every single human on the planet is spiritual. So I cancel it out. Whether you know it or not, your spirit in a human body, live with it.
yeah,
And I don't like to use spiritual because it's also part of the divide.
yeah,
We need to be together in unity,
right.
not to perpetuate a divide of any kind.
Yeah, I like to guide in my work. I like to guide. I like to gather the pieces so I can assist them to create their mapping to their destination. And that keeps changing because we have so many layers. We like little
Yeah.
walking onions. But my work is more of that than coming in and saying my belief is your truth, because then puts you above, right? Even a friend of mine that I call him the Merlin, because I love the Merlin, I love magic. He is
Yay.
incredible homeopathic guy, and he does cranial work, and he's just lovely. Lives in the mountains here, and in a community, where like the old days, right? And he, it really walks the truth and really walks the talk. And we were sharing one day about how to, do all this without, because we got so many clients, right? In between him and I do a lot of coaching. And I said, oh, yeah. And I mentioned something about forgiveness. And he goes, well, for me, that doesn't work. And I said, oh, because I didn't know what he meant by that. He goes, if I said I forgive you, then I'm putting myself above. I work with reconciliation, he says. Reconciling, no forgiveness, no, because that puts you above. And coming from a Buddhist mother, she always said to me, you are not below or above anybody. We don't eat
Wonderful.
meat, but if somebody invites you to their home and they're serving something that you have this idea that is not for you, you are going to enjoy and honor the offering because you know better than them. You don't know more than them.
And also, you can look at it and say, it's this energy and it's served with love.
Yeah, right.
And whatever is served with love can't, and the minute you're eating something and you can envision it going to the places where it needs to be, and for the body to take in what's good for you and what's not good for you, it'll release. And then it's okay. We can do all that.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. And so many don't have. This state in New Mexico is the most hungry state in the union. Well, I
Um,
shouldn't say union because they're not that united.
I've never been to New Mexico.
It's really lovely. It's like a lot of native tribes, a lot of them. It's a lot of mountains, a lot of desert, a lot of wildlife, especially where I
Yeah.
live. I have 14 acres, and it's the deer come in the
Wow.
morning, and
Fantastic.
it's just, I just love it now. Oh, my little flowers are coming up, and the earth is singing, and I spend most of the time here, in the house doing my thing. Go work out or major walks on the forest. That's the medicine for me. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because
I
that keeps you in your body. It's grounding.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
absolute grounding.
Yeah, and they're my friends. I know the grandfathers. I know the female trees. I know, all the little plants that they smile when you walk by with respect and ask permission.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I am so honored, and I think we should do more of it, Dorit, because this is such a lovely, fun way, coming from the heart to be able to just share. Because if people are like, all these stories about Israel and all that, and look at you, nothing but smiles and love and kindness and
I go every day, I meet a friend for coffee, and I don't care what's going on around me. Really, she's one of us. So I go and I meet, and the local cafes are open. So I go, and if there's a siren and everybody runs to the bomb shelter, I go hug a tree because I'm not running to any bomb shelter and sitting in fear with everyone. I go hug. It's my duty and my love and my pleasure to go and hug. And usually I'm sitting outside, in the cafe. And there's a lot of trees. So I go and I hug a tree and I say, wow, what a beautiful opportunity. And I'm not even concerned. I don't feel like a bomb's going to hit me on the head. I figure, okay, if my time is up, I'll go, but I don't feel that that's what it is. And people have started joining me, which blew my mind.
good for you, Dorit. The light
They
is
started
getting there.
joining me and said, oh, this is much better than crowding into that bomb shelter. So,
Yeah, because you're not surrendering to fear, you're not surrendering to control, and you know very well we made an agreement before we came in
yeah,
with the amount of time and the journey that we are
yeah,
on.
yeah.
So doing anything else not going to do anything
Yeah,
but alter our
I don't
nervous
think about
system.
it. And I feel safest. I feel safest. And if I'm at home, I'll sit around my crystals. My crystals, that I have a whole grid. And I sit and I meditate with them and I send peace and love. And I feel safest.
Yeah.
I don't feel safe in a bomb shelter.
Yeah, and also, you are the representative of true love and peace, because you are doing what Gandhi said, be the change you want to see. This is how
Yeah,
I take and walk in the world. This is how I want to share my love and my existence with the world. I did my work in so many ways. I brought forward and gave body to my children, which are walking in that light also. I mean,
yeah,
it's a huge contribution, and we will continue with this, you and I, and with Uncle Bruce and all the light workers.
Yay.
I am so grateful from the bottom of my
Me
soul.
too. We are soul sisters.
Yes, ma'am. And I love you. And say something in Hebrew for the Hebrew brothers and sisters for peace and equanimity.
In Hebrew,
Yes. 'Cause
you
I
know,
have,
it's interesting because tomorrow night is Passover. Passover is a holiday where the Israelis hang on to all the old garbage. And they share, they sit around the dinner table and they talk about we were slaves and we were this and we were that. And then we had, you know, and I refused to do it. It
right.
took me years to get out of that
Yeah.
trajectory. You know, my family always wanted me to join them. I said, no way. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. I'm out of here. We need to give that up. So בעברית, in Hebrew, בעברית, הגיע הזמן לעבור הלאה עם אנרגיות חדשות ולשכוח את העבר. So, what did I just say? It's time for us to move forward and to put aside all that past. And the holidays Passover. So it's perfect timing to do all that.
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you for
Yes.
that, Dory. Because I will release this tomorrow. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here
And
and
thank
sharing.
you. And we will continue to do what we do. And I hope we'll talk again.
Yes, ma'am. Love you.
Love you too, my dear.